Hello MoodleMoot. If you don't know me, my name is Mark Johnson. I've been a Moodle developer for a long time and I'm a senior developer at Moodle partner Catalyst IT Europe. In this talk, I'm going to go through the process of making a code contribution to Moodle core from discovery to release. I gave a version of this talk at MoodleMoot 2013, which was my very first MoodleMoot. I originally wrote this version as an internal tech talk for Catalyst Europe, as this is something that we want to do more of as a company. We don't want to just be fixing problems on a case-by-case basis for each client. We want to find solutions to common problems across the sector and contribute them upstream. Another reason for giving this talk is that I've had many conversations, particularly at MoodleMoot, with people who have made a useful change to a core library or plugin, but kept that change private because they don't think it's their place to say how Moodle should work for other people. I hope that this talk will show that as a member of the community, it's absolutely your place to propose changes and that the process is there to make sure your contributions are suitable for the community as a whole, so don't keep them to yourself. So step 1, you found a problem with Moodle, either in one of the plugins that comes with Moodle Core or in the core system itself. You might not be sure whether this is a bug or whether you're just doing something wrong. If you're not sure, you can always start a discussion on the moodle.org forums, or you can search the Moodle tracker to see if it's been reported before. If you're satisfied that it's a bug and it's not been reported yet, we move on to stage 2. The Moodle tracker can be found at tracker.moodle.org. It uses a system called Jira, which has been configured for Moodle's workflow. You'll need a tracker account which is separate from your moodle.org account to post comments and issues. When you create an issue, you will get a very basic form to fill out the details. You can say which project it's for, which is usually Moodle. The summary is a one-liner describing your bug. Description should provide as much detail as possible. I try to provide a step-by-step instructions to reproduce the bug. What did you do? What did you expect to happen? What happened instead? If the bug doesn't require any special integrations or additional plugins to reproduce, it's a good idea to provide steps to reproduce it on a public Moodle site like qa.moodledemo.net or school.moodledemo.net to make it easy for others to confirm. Effects versions lets you select which versions of Moodle you have confirmed the bug in. This doesn't have to be a complete list, so just select those that you have definitely tested. You can select released versions and you can also select in development versions. Components gives you a list of the Moodle subsystems and plugins that are part of the core distribution. Select those that best represent the areas that the bug affects. This will assign the component leads to watch the bug. Once you've created the bug, it will be assigned a number like MDL12345. You can now edit the bug to link it to others, add comments and attachments. You may want to attach files to help with reproducing the bug, like a course backup or an example plugin. If you are planning to fix the bug, you can also assign it to yourself. Now you can go away and write code to fix the bug. It's best to do this against a plain upstream version of Moodle without any additional plugins or patches. It may be that you've developed a fix internally before you've created the tracker issue. In that case, you'll just need to test it against the upstream code. The versions that you need to provide a fix for depend on how the issue is classified. Improvements will usually go into the next stable version of Moodle, so you should make your changes against the latest master branch. Bugs should also be fixed against all stable branches that are still in support. Usually you can backport the same commit from the master branch. Security issues may need to be backported further as security support lasts longer. At the time of recording, for a current bug, you would be expected to provide a fix for the main, Moodle 4.0.0 stable and Moodle 3.11 branches, while for security bugs, you would also need to provide fixes for the Moodle 3.10 stable and Moodle 3.9 stable branches. Once you have branches prepared with your fixes, you'll need to push them to a public Git repository. GitHub is the de facto option, but is not a requirement. I usually name my branches like MDL12345_master or underscore and then the stable branch that I'm fixing against, so I can easily spot what each branch is for. To submit a branch for review, you'll need to edit your tracker issue. The pull from repository field should be set to the URL of your public Git repository. On GitHub, you can find that here. You also need to add the name of each branch that you're providing a fix against, and a diff URL to provide a quick view of your changes. These URLs can be generated on GitHub by opening a pull request, removing expand equals 1, and you'll have a page which just shows your changes. You may need to change the branch that you're comparing against. By default, it will always compare against the upstream master branch, but you may wish to change that to an upstream stable branch if you're comparing a stable branch. Along with your code, you should provide testing instructions. If you've provided good steps to reproduce, you should be able to copy these and remove the what happens instead part. You should also include appropriate automated tests with PHP or Behat with your code. Once you save your changes, continuous integration jobs will run on your code to check coding standards, run unit tests and other automated tasks. Wait a few minutes to get these results and fix any issues. You can add the CI.me tag to rerun the CI bot checks. Once you're happy with your fix, you need to get your code reviewed. To show something is ready for review, you can press the Request Peer Review button on the tracker. You can then wait for someone to pick it up, but if you want it to happen soon, it's best to ask someone to do it for you. This can be done by any member of the community with a tracker account. You could ask a colleague, you could request a review on the forum, ask in Moodle dev chat, or tag someone in a tracker comment and ask them. Don't just assign them as a reviewer without asking them first. If you're providing peer review for someone else, there are guidelines on the Moodle wiki if you search for peer reviewing. If any changes are required, discuss them with your reviewer and then push those changes to the same branches. Your changes will automatically be reflected at the same diff URL links. Once your change has passed peer review, it will be marked waiting for integration review. If you are reviewing code for the first time, you may not have permission to set this status, in which case you can leave a comment asking for it to be sent for integration. Integration review is a further round of QA with a different focus. While peer review checks that your code is of good quality, integration review checks that your code is suitable for inclusion within Moodle. The Moodle wiki also explains the integration review principles in full if you search for integration review. Unlike peer review, integration review can only be performed by a small team of integrators. Integrators are employed by Moodle HQ and require a deep understanding of Moodle's codebase and policies. Unfortunately, this means that there are never enough of them, and they can be extremely busy, especially in the run-up to a Moodle release. And if your change gets held up, it will probably be waiting for integration review. So you may have to be patient. It's possible that the integrator will decide that the change is not suitable for Moodle and reject it. Usually, you can discuss appropriate changes to make it acceptable and resubmit them just like you did for peer review. They will also make the call on which branches you should or shouldn't backport your changes to. If the component maintainer hasn't already been involved in the discussion, hopefully they will provide feedback at this point as well. Once integrated, your code will be merged into each of the branches it was submitted to, and your testing instructions followed. The tester may also conduct additional testing if they deem it necessary and feedback with any bugs. And finally, once your code passes testing, it will be made available in the next weekly release. It will be available for download on Moodle.org and from the latest branches on GitHub. Now, this can be an arduous process, and preparing well improves your chances of success at each stage. Some of my tips for success. If you're fixing a bug, leave a comment for the component maintainer letting them know and outlining your approach. This lets them know what to expect and lets you get early feedback. It also helps build familiarity between you and the maintainers, and once they know you and they know that you provide good quality contributions, it will make future contributions go more smoothly. Another key point is to provide detailed reproduction steps with workarounds and testing instructions. The clearer you can be about the bug and why it happens, the easier it will be for someone to review and test your fix. You can set up GitHub actions on your Moodle clone, which will run automated tests when you push a new branch. This helps to catch bugs and regressions before manual testing occurs. And finally, practice makes perfect. The more you do it, the easier it is.